So here's the thing, guys, about this Inktober. I have never had, in the year that I've been posting to YouTube, I've never had a video give me more issues than this Inktober piece. I don't know how I did it, but I somehow filmed the whole face cam in slow motion. Here's a bit of an example of what I saw when I looked at the footage. So I apologize about the audio quality. I'm not sure if there's much of a difference, but because the face cam was recorded in slow motion, I had to use the audio from the cheaper camera. And then in addition to that, I generally turn off the cheaper camera, the desk camera, by the end of the video, so the end of the video had no sound. So I'm gonna go ahead and let you guys watch the video. Hopefully you like it, and I will meet you back here at the end to do the outro, okay? Enjoy. Hi guys, welcome back to Inktober Day 7. I actually cannot believe we are almost finished with this series. The first few days were so rough. I know there were so many bumps along the way, and honestly, I'm still kind of figuring things out. But we have actually gotten through most of our classic Halloween monsters this month. We did our skeletons, the mummy, Frankenstein's monster, headless horseman, swamp monster, werewolves, and now we are on to aliens. I have actually been looking forward to this piece all month. This is going to be aliens vacationing at sightseeing locations that are commonly believed to be created by aliens. So we've got the pyramids, of course, classic up here. This one's supposed to be Machu Picchu. I'm gonna have to pull up some serious references of this one because that is a very hard monument to depict. And then of course over here we've got Stonehenge, which is the only site of these three locations that I have actually seen. And I've laid them out as little like Polaroid photographs. I put like a sort of alien language down here to kind of label them. I'm not entirely sure if I'm gonna include that or not, but I know the first thing we need to do to get started is just to map out the positioning of these photographs. So I think I kind of want to start with doing the two on the side first, so I can kind of get an idea of how they're going to be overlapping. And I anticipate that this one's going to take me some time because I am essentially drawing 3 miniature scenes. I'm also wondering if it might be a good idea to switch around Machu Picchu and the pyramids, because the pyramids are very, very easily recognizable. So if they're covered a little by the other photographs, it's not going to be as big of a deal because you can identify the pyramids in a glance. Machu Picchu, however, unless you're really familiar with the site, I think it's going to be kind of hard to identify from a drawing of a photograph behind another photograph with an alien standing in front of it. So those might switch around. I don't know yet. At the same time though, I do kind of want to keep the pyramids in front because that's like the number one, oh, aliens made the pyramids kind of conspiracy theory. In my mind, at least. But I think we've got our photos kind of laid out here. I think they need to be a little more rectangular, right? Polaroid photos are more rectangular, and then, because they have that little space at the bottom. So I'll just lengthen these slightly. I think it's okay if they're going off the page too. I want to try and get the photos as big as possible so that I have as much room to work within these dimensions as possible. Because I'm really going to be working on a scene in a square inside of a square. So that's going to make these really, really tiny. Luckily, the aliens are all kind of taking selfies, so they're going to be pretty close to the cameras. Oh, you know what? I haven't picked up my ruler in a long time. Would it make it easier to actually use the ruler on these? Kind of forgot about it, honestly. I haven't used it for the last 2 pieces. It's kind of funny thinking back to the first piece that I did, the skeletons in the airport, because that piece was so perspective heavy. And I think the second one that I did, the mummy at the spa, that one was also a bit perspective heavy. And I was having so much trouble trying to get the geometry correct. And now I haven't really used this ruler at all because all the other pieces that I've been doing have been more organic, less geometry. So I kind of just completely forgot about it. I don't know if I'm gonna do anything for like the background of this piece, like what's behind the pictures. I'm kind of seeing this as like the aliens are looking at these pictures after their trip, so they might be set out on a table or something. I just don't want to distract from the pictures themselves by putting a background on this. Maybe I can put like some pins in them, like they're hanging up on a wall. That's about all I would want to do though. All right, we've got our Polaroids all sketched out. Just gonna kind of sketch in some basic scenery here. I'm gonna start with Stonehenge because that's the one that I know is going to be there. Also, because this is the only site that I've actually been to of the 3 of them, this is the one that I have the most knowledge about. And did you guys know that Stonehenge is off of a freeway? It was the most jarring experience seeing Stonehenge, not because of like its beauty or its size or how ancient it is or anything like that, but it's because you could see it driving up the freeway next to it. To go visit it, you could see Stonehenge clearly, which kind of took away some of the magic of the experience. I could also imagine people using that freeway to commute just having the worst time going to work. Because not only was it off a freeway, it was off a crowded freeway because of course everyone's trying to go see the monument. It's also not as big as I thought it was, and that might have just been because you really are not allowed to get that close to it. But yeah, it's a lot smaller than I actually anticipated. Still very cool. And like when you truly think about it, how like someone had to move these stones here, it is very awe-inspiring. But I don't know, the freeway just kind of ruined it. I don't remember which of these stones are actually standing, so this is going to be a rough approximation, but there we are. That's Stonehenge. And then we gotta draw our little alien buddy in front of it. This is gonna be difficult because I'm gonna try and hit this from as much of an angle as possible so that if you were looking at the photograph straight, it would look like he's standing up straight. But I'm gonna put him right here. And I'm just kind of going for the classic like little green men alien with the big black almond eyes and the kind of wobbly appendages. That's what I'm going for. They are absolutely going to be wearing Hawaiian shirts though, because nothing screams alien to me like going to see a location and being completely inappropriately dressed for that location. So wearing a Hawaiian shirt to go see Stonehenge is hysterical and very alien to me. Trying to not block Stonehenge as much as possible, but it's also not the main character here. And in the thumbnail, I kind of gave the alien a bit of a shocked face, but I think I'm gonna make him smiling because he is smiling at the camera, so I don't know why he would be giving kind of a shocked face. There we go. Oh, he's cute. Every time I look up at the camera, I see that I'm like right next to it, but it's just because I'm leaning to the left side of the paper so I could draw on it. What if we did this sort of funny hand position where it looks like he's trying to hold it? All right, there's our boy. I love him. He's so cute. Let's move on to this back piece here. In fact, I'm gonna draw the aliens on both pieces first because I want like one, the other, and then both of them together. And then I guess I'll try and sketch in the backgrounds later. I am still kind of leaning towards the pyramids being in the center just because they're the most recognizable landmark. But here's our other guy. And in fact, actually, you know what? If I make him smaller so he's not blocking as much of Machu Picchu, it'll be a little more recognizable. I've got one of them wearing a baseball hat and the other one's got kind of this like, it's supposed to be like a beachy straw hat kind of thing, but it's really just like a general sun hat. And I'm gonna have him wearing a polo shirt just because I want them to be identifiable. I want to make sure that you can tell it's the same aliens in these pictures in this picture. I think he's gonna be holding a walking stick. That sounds like a good idea. Put it on this side so it doesn't block as much of the view. And he'll just kind of be like proud of himself for hiking up here. And Machu Picchu in the background. I did look up a picture reference that I'm going off of, but I'm gonna need to pull that up again in order to kind of refine everything. Because I think of the three of these, this one's probably the least recognizable, at least in a drawing. It's also kind of another reason I want it in the background because I'm not confident in my ability to draw this. I don't want it front and center. And then we've got like the buildings, some over here, and I'll look up a reference to refine that. But for the last one, we got the two of them in front of the pyramids. And I'm gonna draw them first again, because I kind of want to get the pyramids proportional to their height. I'm hoping this piece is gonna be a little tongue-in-cheek, like you'll see it and be like, oh, it's alien sightseeing, that's funny. And then it takes a little bit of thought to go, oh, wait a minute, they're sightseeing at places that a lot of people conspirize were made by them. Because I think the story of this piece in my mind is these guys are visiting Earth and they did not make these landmarks. So they're kind of like going around and visiting what they think are humanity's coolest constructions. And we've got baseball hat alien and sun hat alien. Part of me kind of wants them to be even smaller because I want to see if I can get a fanny pack in there, but we'll see. We'll see if the proportions allow it. I think I can get like the top of a fanny pack. Do you guys know I've had the Monster Mash stuck in my head all day? Just woke up this morning with, "You did the mash." It's always the like most catchy, but also most irritating songs that get stuck in your head. That's my experience at least. And it's never the full song. It's always just, He did the mash. He did the monster mash. The monster mash. And then that's just repeating on loop for the rest of the day. And then this guy's got his arm towards the camera because it's just the two of them. So one of them needs to take a selfie. I think I've drawn them a little too close together there, but I will refine that later. Sort of got a bit of a rhythm going for these videos, is like do the base sketch and then speed through refining everything, and then come back to start the line art, speed through the line art, come back to start the coloring, speed through the coloring, so on and so forth. And as always, try not to talk too much because otherwise these videos are going to be way too long. All right, I think that pyramid's a little wonky, but that's the base sketch. I'm gonna go ahead and speed through the refinement of this. I will meet you guys back here probably tomorrow because I gotta go stream later. But I will meet you guys back here then to start the line art, okay? See you soon. Hi folks, we're back with the alien piece. Machu Picchu is still just looking like a bunch of geometrical shapes. I don't really know how to make it look any better because I don't think I'm skilled enough to draw Machu Picchu yet. But I want to include it in this piece because I know that it's one of the major landmarks that is often contributed to alien activity. So I think we're just gonna have to go along with this piece as is. Stonehenge and the pyramids I think are fine. Those ones are very obviously readable. So I think it's time to start in with the microns. Going in as always with our 0.3, 0.03. And I'm going to start with the aliens. I think I'm gonna go ahead and do the outline of the photographs as well with the black micron. I might actually do the inner square of the photos with the maybe the dark gray micron just to give it a little bit of contrast. I don't know. Also, should I use the ruler with these? Nah. Using the ruler I think would just make it too precise. Oh, you can kind of see the top of my camera here. I was noticing that as I was editing the last Inktober, the werewolf one. There's a couple scenes where the camera is very prominently like right here, but this one you can kind of just see the corner of it. I think that's fine. Speaking of the last Inktober, I actually managed to get it down to right under 35 minutes, which is like exactly what I was aiming for. So I think I'm actually gonna shut up and speed through the line art for the photographs and the aliens, and I will meet you back here when it comes time to start working on the backgrounds. All right, see you in a bit. All right, guys, the inking for the characters is done. I've lost my little palm protector, I'm just realizing. Where the heck did it go? It's fine, I'll just put my glove back on. But yeah, I got the line art done for the aliens. I want to do the floral pattern in his shirt specifically with the light gray color because I don't want that obscuring the lines of the shirt. But I think the next thing I'm gonna do is go ahead and go in with the backgrounds. I want the backgrounds to match as much as possible. So what I'm planning on doing is using the dark gray for the foreground elements of the background. So that would be like the structures on Machu Picchu, this pyramid in the front, and then the foreground stones on Stonehenge, the ones that are closer to you instead of further back in the circle. And then I'll go in again with the light gray micron to do like the mountains in the back of Machu Picchu, the back pyramids, and of course the stones on the back of Stonehenge. That's what I think I'm gonna do, and then the clouds are gonna be in the light gray as well. The only thing I'm not sure about is I don't really know what I'm gonna do for these background mountains on Machu Picchu, but I know the foreground elements are going to be in the dark gray, so I'm gonna go ahead and do those first. Check again that this is the dark gray real quick because it screws me up every time. Stonehenge I think is going to be the easiest one of all three of these structures. I'm also not sure if I like the gray inner square on the photographs. I can see it tripping me up at some point, but we'll just work with it for now. Stonehenge is easy. It's so easily recognizable that there's not really much that you have to do to get it to look like Stonehenge. I think the pyramids are the same, which is so unfortunate because I'm not having trouble drawing either of those two. It's Machu Picchu. It's this one that I'm gonna have trouble drawing, and I think, unfortunately, it is the least recognizable of the bunch. But hopefully that's just me and my perception of these landmarks. Hopefully to most people, Machu Picchu is a little bit more recognizable than what I'm expecting. Woo! Oh, that was a really crooked line. Oh no. Wow, okay. That's really crooked. Oh boy. I think I kind of just have to move on and hopefully, because I'm gonna do the bricks inside the pyramid. Hopefully that'll kind of hide the fact that that line is so crooked. Ooh, that was a big mistake. Okay. Well, time to jump into this. And my technique here is to kind of make these lines as ragged as possible when it comes to the ruins. Because I definitely don't want them to look like straight geometrical shapes, because they are, it's a city in ruin is what it is. I want it to look that way. I don't want it to look super structured. And I'm kind of hoping that'll just sort of hide the geometry anyway. I might throw a couple like brick textures in there as well, just sporadically. Basically my goal with Machu Picchu is just to hide it as much as possible. This is probably the most difficult thing that I've done in regards to Inktober stuff, and I'm including drawing a bus in that statistic. I'll go ahead and say that drawing a bus is nothing compared to trying to draw Machu Picchu. Am I pronouncing that right, by the way? It's gonna be so embarrassing if I'm pronouncing that wrong, but that's how I've always heard it. Never had the opportunity to visit personally, but I would love to one day. I think the jagged lines are helping. I think it's looking a lot less structured and more like ruins, which is definitely what I want. So I'm just gonna try and continue to make things as wobbly and jagged as possible, and hopefully that'll help. What if I kind of throw in a bit of a brick texture here? Yeah? Okay. Do you ever think about the fact that, and this is gonna get kind of existential, but like there's so many wonders of the world, and there's so many people on this earth, probably myself included, and a lot of the people watching, that are just never going to experience those natural wonders outside of pictures. Like, they're there, you can go to them, but there's so many people that will just never have the opportunity to do so. I don't know if that's like a weird thought to anyone else, but it certainly is to me. Kind of gives me a little bit of FOMO. Oh, I also decided to, well, I didn't decide, but I drew this alien and I accidentally forgot his little chin straps on his hat, so I decided to exclude them in this piece as well, because I didn't want to just have them in one piece and not the other, which I'm kind of bummed about. I liked the little chin straps, but oh well. Okay, I don't think that's that bad, actually. If you know what Machu Picchu is, I think you would clock that as what it's supposed to be. And a few more of these brick textures. In fact, I think I'm gonna speed through texturizing Machu Picchu and the pyramids, and I will hop back in when it comes time to do the far backgrounds. Okay, see you in a bit. Oh my god. I don't know if you guys could see on the speed through how much I was hesitating trying to draw the bricks on the pyramid, but I have never experienced so much eye strain in my life. That was, like, I got about halfway down and I could feel my eyes starting to get tired from just looking at all the squares. But I think the end result is worth it. I think that looks really cool. Time to get into the light gray. I still am not entirely sure what I want to do for this back mountain back here. And part of me, because the mountains in Machu Picchu are really dark, part of me kind of wants to do this mid-ground mountain, I guess you could call it, in the dark gray, and then just stick to the light gray for the foreground and the clouds. But for now, I'm gonna go ahead and start over on the Stonehenge side. And then these stones in the background, I'm gonna go ahead and do the hatch shading on all of these. Every now and then, hatch shading, the cross hatching, will give me eye strain because it's a lot of little lines like so close together, but that was nuts. It felt like my eyes were shaking. There we go, and then just do these clouds as well. Nice and simple, nothing too dramatic with these. All right, Stonehenge is pretty much done aside from coloring. Let's do these pyramids as well. I think I'm just gonna do the horizontal lines on the pyramids in the background instead of the bricks for 2 reasons. 1, I don't wanna do that ice drain again. That was nuts. And 2, I want these to be a little bit more out of focus than the one in the foreground. I think this is gonna be the best way to do that. Ooh, gotta be careful. Look at those lines I'm getting over onto the Polaroid. But yeah, I think just having the horizontal lines in the background is going to make those look just a little bit more distant, a little more out of focus. Go, and then the clouds on this one. I want these to be really minimal because I want it to look a lot hotter here than the other locations. Okay, and then let's skip over these mid-ground ones and just do these background mountains for right now. I also think what I'm gonna do for the background mountains on Machu Picchu, these ones way in the back, I'm just gonna color them in with the light gray brush to give them a little bit of contrast from the sky and also to just keep them really out of focus. Kind of regretting not leaving more of the sky in this picture because from the pictures that I've seen, the sky and the clouds there are really beautiful. And I think I am gonna go ahead and do these mountains with the dark gray micron. And this way I can also use the dark gray to do some cross hatching on these shadowed parts. Yeah, I think that was a good choice. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and speed through the cross hatching on that, and I'm also just gonna erase everything so we can get started on the coloring. Be right back. All right, we are on to the final steps here with this one. I do still want to outline the characters on these, so let me grab my big pen. That's this one. And I think it was a good decision to do the mountains on the Machu Picchu picture in the dark gray instead of the light gray, because that way it definitely looks like the mountains in the far background are way back there. I feel like I've been getting a little better with this outlining pen. It is still relatively difficult to use, but I think if I just go slow enough, I can make sure the lines are a lot neater. It's kind of difficult with this pen because you really have to balance going the right speed, because if you go too fast, you're gonna make mistakes. But if you go too slow, there's like a lot of ink in this pen that could cause a bleed through. So you just gotta get your timing right. I do think it's been immensely helpful though. The first couple Inktobers I was outlining with just my thickest micron, which at the time I think was like a 1 point or something. And this is a 12 point. Not a 0.12, a 12. So it's just kind of made things a lot faster. Ooh, except for when you make mistakes like that. That's what I'm talking about. This pen is actually really difficult to use because it's so big. It's hard to see where exactly it's going. But I'll trade the speed at which I can use this pen for the tiny mistakes that it makes. I think I'm gonna put a line down the middle of these two so it kind of separates them as 2 different characters. Just gotta be careful not to smudge it. I think I mentioned before, but microns dry pretty quickly. Like once I get the whole page lined, I'm pretty confident that it's all dry enough to start erasing. But when you get to these bigger pens that use a lot more ink, oh, I don't know if you can see that, but I definitely just smudged what I just went over as I was talking about how easily this pen smudges. Nothing Photoshop can't fix. But yeah, this pen and the black brush pen definitely put out a lot of ink, so you have to be careful about where your hand's going. Oh, I have no idea what I did on this hand over here. I could not tell you why I drew it that way. I've never drawn a hand like that before, and it looks awful. So apologies for that. In fact, I'm gonna put an outline over it to kind of hide it as much as I can. Alrighty, that's the outlines done. I think the first thing I'm gonna do is actually go in with my black brush. There's just one thing that I want to do with it, but I want to put down the black ink first because I know that it takes forever to dry. And I just want to color in the alien's eyes. Give them those signature big black eyes. Yeah, just going very slowly and very carefully with this. And I'm doing it first because we discovered in the last Inktober entry that this thing deposits quite a lot of ink, so it's going to take a long time to dry. There we go. That actually made such a huge difference and went a long way towards making them look like little aliens instead of weird little people. I just noticed that the brim of the hat here, careful not to smudge that, is kind of blending in with his head, so I'm just gonna put a nice thick line just along the underside of the hat to kind of separate it. Same on this side. There we go. All right, we got our little alien dudes. I'm excited to start coloring this. My brush is out. And I think actually the first thing I'm gonna start with is the flowers on the Hawaiian shirt for no reason other than I just know that I want them to be in the light gray color. And I'm just gonna do that first and take my time kind of thinking about what else I want to do. I know I said earlier I want these mountains to be in the light gray color, so I'm gonna do that as well. And then I think I might do maybe some shadows on these pyramids back here with the light gray, but not necessarily color them in. You'll notice I did avoid doing the plaid shirt this time around, which is a win for me because I was getting kind of addicted to that. It's just such a good use of the micron markers and the way they overlap. I think I'll make this guy's hat gray as well. This light gray color, I mean. Just color that in. I don't know if I want to make the stripe the same color yet. I think just leaving it white's a good idea. Yeah, just to give a little bit of contrast. I'm gonna give him a little shadow over his face too, because of course the hat would be casting that. This guy's gonna get a little shadow as well, but I think I'm gonna do the baseball hat with the dark gray color, just to differentiate them. There we go. Oh, that's cute. These guys are adorable. I love when I get to draw cute characters. I was sort of thinking that I want the stones to be with the dark color as well, but I'm not entirely sold on that yet. Just not sure if that's going to be too dark for that picture. I am gonna color in this guy's fanny pack. You know what? I think I'm just gonna noodle around with these colors for a little bit. Might as well just kind of finish off the piece, because I know that this one has quite a bit of talking in it, and that means a very long video. So I'm gonna turn my face cam off. I will meet you back here for the final product, okay? Bye. Alrighty, that is about it for this piece. I did want to do one more thing, and I just want to do a little bit of a drop shadow on these pictures, just to kind of make them stand out a little bit, stand out from the paper on the back, because I don't want to do a full background. I think that would take away from the scenes on the actual pictures, but just a little drop shadow so they kind of look 3D. Should I go over the other pictures, kind of where they're overlapping, just right along here? I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna do just a very, very thin line. Yeah, actually that looks really good. Just so you can see that the pyramids photograph is above the other two. There we go. Oh, I love it. I love it. I think it turned out so good. I gotta say, I was definitely a little bit sloppy on this one. I think the edges of the photos were kind of throwing me off a lot of the time. I definitely went over them here, a little bit over here, but it's fine. Again, nothing Photoshop can't fix. I am not above Photoshopping my traditional pieces. But let's go ahead and get her off the table. Not much of a reveal when it comes to the margins on this piece, because the background's all white. Kind of just cut off a little of the back portraits. How dare you? You bitch. Oh my god. Okay, this is it. This is my official 1-star review for the painter's tape from Michaels. I cannot believe it just did that. Oh, what? You couldn't let me have anything nice. I guess I was being a little rough with it, but even still, I'm mad. I'm mad. I just have to crop the margins a little bit. If there was ever a piece for that to happen on, I guess this is the best piece because there's nothing going on the sides, but it did take off a little corner of my picture up there. Should I just rip it off? Yeah, there's no way that's gonna look good. All right, I'm mad. F minus. This is the worst. All right, well, there's my aliens. I'm just gonna have to crop right here in editing, kind of all along the top there. It's fine, it'll be fine. Oh, why did that have to happen at the very end? Everything was going so well. And she doesn't even know the half of it yet. Anyway, if you guys would like to see this piece in full, it is available on my Instagram right now. I'm also going to be posting a speed drawing of this piece to my TikTok and my YouTube shorts. You can head over there to find those. If you want to see more of me, I do go live on Twitch every Tuesday and Saturday. We do art and games over there. And if you want to support me and this channel in the best way possible, you can subscribe to my Patreon. You can support me there for as little as $1 a month and get exclusive content for as little as $3 a month. And last but not least, make sure you subscribe to this channel so you can find your way back here for next week's video. For the month of October, I'm posting every Tuesday and Saturday. Thank you guys for sticking through this one for me. I had it a lot rougher than you did, trust me on that. Have a wonderful rest of your week, and I will catch you all in the next one. Okay? Bye.